extractor hose, open the valves and relieve the pressure off the backflow. This will ensure that the valves are holding to the backflow and that there's no pressure on the inside when you open it. What's nice about these models is there's a plate on the underneath. You can go ahead and slowly start opening, and you can drain the inside without having to open the top. Once the water is slowed down or stopped, you can go ahead and remove that plate, and you can see here we have a bunch of sediment that has settled at the bottom. Go ahead and take a screwdriver and gently scrub that off, making sure not to damage that O-ring on that plate. We'll go ahead and move on to opening up the top. All it is the two bolts that hold on the rings on the top. I can tell this unit is repaired before by looking at the rings here that they were installed incorrectly. I'll explain more on that later. As soon as I turn on the light, you can see quite evident why it failed. The number one check is just laying in the bottom of the backflow. Leave the plate off during this time so I can go ahead and flush everything out from the bottom. I usually do a bucket underneath just so I can catch everything. Take apart the check. It's a 3/4 inch bolt on there, and everything's contained, so don't worry about any springs flying. Check to make sure the rubber looks okay, and also the check seat. If you see any nicks in the check seat or big chunks missing of the rubber, go ahead and replace it. tight fit getting this in there, so make sure you grease up everything on that O-ring real good. The retainer clip will sit in a groove inside along that whole check. The tabs will sit has a little notch in the top that will go ahead and sit in there. Make sure you get it all the way in there, and sometimes you need to give a little extra push on it to make sure it's in there properly. Earlier I mentioned the rings were installed incorrectly. You see, one side has a tab, the other side doesn't. They need to be on opposite ends, that way they fit in there nice and neat. Once you're done snugging up all the bolts, slowly open the water, make sure you get all the air out, and if you see my other videos, you'll see how I like to go ahead and get the water back on, filling it from the #1 test port.